it's important to highlight how modern false religions and cults usually link back to ancient fallen angel worship and ancient god worship and idolatry. I cover it a lot since it will be a factor in the coming one world religion and deception. The bull cult of Mormonism is a great example of this, but they obfuscate that link back to idolatry in their modern religious cult. Yesterday I posted a video titled The Bull Cult of Mormonism, and I decided to do a short part 2. In yesterday's video I tried to make the connection of Mormonism to the idolatrous Nephilim bull god ancient cults. I'm not sure I did a good job of that, so I'm going to review it again in this video and present some additional information that came to light after I posted yesterday's video. What I'm showing here is the molten sea, which is this bath held up by 12 bulls that was in the Temple of Solomon. It's a depiction of it. Here's another depiction of it. This exact replica is mirrored in the Mormon holy temples today and serves as their most sacred spot in those temples. It's their baptismal. The Bible indicates that Solomon built an altar to Moloch, the bull god. I'm not sure if that molten sea that's held up by 12 bulls was that altar, but to me it certainly qualifies as one, especially since Canaanite builder craftsmen were commissioned to build the Solomon's temple. And Moloch was a Canaanite bull god that everyone is familiar with. Melchizedek was a highly revered high Canaanite priest, and he is also highly revered among Gnostics, Theosophists, and Mormons. Same as Solomon, all these Gnostic occult groups love Solomon. In addition to modeling their baptismal after the bull molten sea in Solomon's temple, the Mormons also teach on the Melchizedek priesthood. The contemporary Masonic order of Melchizedek follows the Canaanite order, as Melchizedek is the first Canaanite documented in the Bible. In yesterday's video I explained how the etymology of Melchizedek breaks down. Melchi breaks to Moloch, aka the bull god, plus Zedek, a Canaanite deity worshipped in pre-Israelite Jerusalem. So Melchizedek, priest, would be a priest of the Canaanite bull god. This teaching of the priesthood of Melchizedek is a cornerstone of Joseph Smith, the Freemason, when the cult of Mormonism was established in 1830, and it continues today. They also practice elaborate ceremonies in their temples with elements similar to those of Freemasonry and the Jewish Kabbalah. For anyone wanting to learn more about the bull cult of Melchizedek, I recommend Gary Wayne's first book, The Genesis 6 Conspiracy, as he dedicates an entire chapter to it. My friend Natasha sent me a message about yesterday's video in reference to the Mormon temple in San Diego. She said, I lived adjacent to the temple in San Diego for 7 years. It looks like a fairy tale castle, as they do lighting throughout the year to provide signals to members. Obviously, it's to hide the rituals and wickedness within, which she had heard rumors of. Continuing, she says that several times of the year iridescent lighting would fill the night sky, as well as weird underground humming like a boring machine would be heard beneath our home. This is also the location where I heard loud sky quakes for hours at night in 2016. I don't miss the bizarre events that happen all around the area, as I now feel that it may be built on a major ley line. That spot is also called the Golden Triangle. So that's the end of her comment, and I didn't have time to investigate what is meant by the Golden Triangle, but if anyone knows, please comment. But I did research more on this San Diego Mormon temple. This is it right here. And oh boy. Oh boy. The seal of Melchizedek appears 10,000 times in the San Diego temple, according to this article, written by a Mormon LDS person. They say that the seal of Melchizedek is often represented as an 8-pointed star comprising of 2 squares offset at 45 degrees and overlaid or interwoven. It's such a significant symbol that President Hinckley of the Mormon Church had it added to the Salt Lake Temple, and since then it has shown up in many more temples. They say, not long after 9/11 happened and I began contracting for the Department of Defense to help out in the Middle East conflict, I began to notice the symbol first in Iraq, then Kuwait, and then in Afghanistan. Even traveling through Europe into places in South America, the symbol appeared again and again. I began to suspect that the seal was perhaps a universal symbol, found in the higher forms of worship, and also through time and across cultures and civilizations. These are the representations in the Mormon temple. Alright, here we go. This is an example of a mosaic in Ravenna, Italy. The article says, we can notice some very interesting and familiar temple symbolism in this mosaic. The hand of God reaching down from behind the veil. It's talking about right here. And Melchizedek representing Christ, officiating at the altar. The seal of Melchizedek is in a traditional holy area defined by the 4 right-cornered gammatia. The L-shaped gammatia are symbolic of raising the arm to the square, in other words, is symbolic of the covenant. And what is a gammatia? It's a decorative figure composed of a number of Greek capital gammas, especially radiating from a center, as in the swastika. Kind of see that represented here. And there are some very interesting Indo-Aryan roots to the Mormon faith, which I didn't get into, but I did find that in my research. Continuing with the article, it says the symbol can be found in the holy city of Jerusalem. It's familiar to Jews and Muslims alike. Look at the following picture. This is just another one of Ravenna. This is the picture he's referring to. This is the oldest known Jewish book of scripture, the Leningrad Codex, internally dated to 1008 AD. On the cover you see the now familiar 6-pointed star, which is a star of Remphan, and outside it is the 8-pointed star as well. So here's the star of Remphan in the middle, and then the 8-pointed star is around here on the outside. In Hebrew tradition it is named the Magen Melchizedek, or the Shield of Melchizedek. Melchizedek is also known as the Prince of Salem, from Hebrew meaning Prince of Peace. The name Melchizedek is therefore a foreshadowing of Christ. This is what it says in this article. Therefore, in texts from the Hebrew traditions, the name Melchizedek almost always indicates Christ, not the man Melchizedek. For example, the Melchizedek priesthood is not the priesthood of the ancient king, but is actually the priesthood of Christ. Therefore, the seal of Melchizedek can be interpreted as the seal of Christ. But hang on just a minute, is what I'm saying. The Jewish people don't believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, right? So what is this getting at? They say the shape of this symbol points to Christ. In this article, they say Jesus is the day or the sun, S-U-N, the greatest star that rises in the morning, chasing the other stars away. But hang on a minute, I'm saying that's Venus. Venus is the star that rises before the sun, and Venus represents Lucifer. In this article, they go on to say, like the Son of God, our sun is the source of all light and life. Well, in Gary Wayne's book, he does say that Zedek Zedek, was a rebellious sun god, a Canaanite deity worshipped in pre-Israelite Jerusalem. And Zedek is the last part of Melchizedek. The article goes on to say, ancient cultures associated the stars with gods. The star shape of the seal of Melchizedek can also be a symbol of Christ. And I'm here to tell you right now that that is how people are deceived by modern false religions and cults, which usually link back to the ancient fallen angel worship and ancient god worship and idolatry. Thanks for listening.